Recluse. The doorbell rings and I mutter under my breath. Who's on my porch? Today's Tuesday, not Friday. Unscheduled deliveries aren't unusual here in the boonies, almost 4 miles from the Canadian border, but they're not commonplace either. No one comes out here just to chat. The internet hasn't invaded this remote rural county yet, so people contact me by snail mail or on my landline. I like it better this way. The doorbell chimes again and I yell, "I'm coming!" My veteran's disability and Social Security checks go only so far, and to make ends meet I've been polishing a scribbled story into something a desperate periodical will publish. Pushing the papers aside, I rise and start down the stairs. Another doorbell provokes an irritated response. "I said I'm coming already!" It's not a delivery guy. Unlocking the 2 deadbolts and opening the reinforced door reveals 2 unsmiling men with bulges under their bulky overcoats, shuffling their feet in the sub-zero temperature. The storm door is also locked, affording me the veneer of protection from intruders and the ability to talk to strangers without them being able to open it. "What do you want?" "U.S. Marshals. We want to talk with you." "Show me some identification." 2 badges are held up against the weathered plexiglass window. They could be counterfeit. How would I know? I've never seen a U.S. Marshal badge before. At least the grainy ID photos match their grim faces. But I'm not inviting them inside, where it'd be too easy for them to commit mischief. After unlocking the storm door, I step out onto the porch, being sure to remain in view of the security camera. The older man shoves a document into my chest. "You've been served," and the pair walks away, rubbing and blowing on their pink fingers. Ain't that something? They get into their black SUV and speed out of sight, kicking up clods of frozen dirt on the 2-lane road back to town. After securing both doors, I wander to the refrigerator and grab a cold beer. What can this be? My life has been far from exemplary, but I've never done anything that would deserve a subpoena. At least, I don't think I have, except for the assault charge that got reduced to a misdemeanor in a plea deal. Besides, the beer-fueled bar fight was years ago. After settling into the scruffy sofa and pulling a smoke from a nearby half-empty pack, I tear open the manila envelope. Blah, 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 it reads, and then, "You are ordered to appear at the Federal District Court in Portland at 10 a.m. on January 27, 2025. A grand jury will question you about the events of September 2, 2024. Your attorney may accompany you, but not inside the grand jury room." A friction match scritches, and its reddish flame is pulled toward the cigarette as I inhale deeply. My attorney? I can barely pay my heating bill this winter, let alone afford an attorney. Oh boy. Last year's Labor Day. I hardly ever venture outside this one-stop sign town, other than that horrific day at Fred's farm, 12 miles away, across the state line, where convicted murderers are strapped in the electric chair, anticipating when the warden will flip the switch. Blue smoke rings emerge from my pursed lips. Why did I go? There's no reason to leave here. Fruits and vegetables form neat rows in the field between my faded brown house and the woods. Barbed wire surrounds a chicken coop on the other side of the post-war clapboard building. My freezer is filled with venison, with most of the deer being harvested legally during the hunting season. The Walmart, 40 miles away, carries canned goods, beer, cigarettes, and the foodstuffs I can't provide for myself, and they deliver my standing grocery order on Fridays. How did I get into this mess? All because I enjoyed listening to the festival's featured Motown group on CD and wanted to see and hear them perform in person again. I thought all the commotion had come and gone once the cops finished interrogating me. Guess not. After checking into a cheap motel on the outskirts of Portland, magazine royalties aren't enough to pay for a decent hotel, I walk the streets. A single car glides to a halt at a red light with no other cars in sight. A stop sign would work just as well and would save electricity and the driver's time and patience. Most people out tonight are solo, and a couple of them are hitting up passers-by for money. Good luck with that. The movie theater is letting out, and people disperse, talking about GCI and the surround sound score. Many hurry to their cars, others to an all-night diner, and some stragglers enter the Treehouse. Not a bad idea. And I follow them into the cheerless tavern, if only to get out of the late January cold. The blinking neon light inside competes unsuccessfully with thick clouds of cigarette smoke. A burly bartender wipes a glass while listening to a drunk guy in overalls and a red flannel shirt complain about Generation Z. Two bored women dance out of rhythm to an 80s rock classic blasting from the Wurlitzer. A couple, grappling in a back booth, are trying, and failing, to be discreet. I grab a cracked vinyl stool at the end of the wood plank counter. "What'll you have?" "A beer." "We got Bud, Bud Light, Miller, Miller Light, Hams, Stroh's, Hams." A frosted mug soon arrives, sitting on a cardboard coaster, white foam sliding over the thick rim. Printing appears when I lift the beer off the coaster. "Beer today, gone tomorrow." Sure hope I'm gone tomorrow. Thanks. Concerns about testifying elbow their way to the front of my mind. The cops, before they took off the handcuffs, asked me why I went to the concert and why I was on stage. Most everything after the shooting remains a blur, and it's a struggle to remember what I told them. But my answers better match up. I tap the bottom of the pack of cigarettes until one stands out. My frazzled nerves improve after the second one. The instant the shots were fired is burned into its own brain cell. Instinctively, I'd pulled out my Glock and pointed it downward, but inadvertently in the direction of the band's fallen front man, where he laid, bleeding out. The brutal image of me on stage, gun in hand, aimed at a dying man, splashed across newspapers and TV for days. A deep breath puffs out my cheeks. I'm going to have to relive this nightmare again. Just what I needed, a reminder of when the gooks ambushed my squad in Vietnam a long time ago. Gruesome nightmares tormented me after I arrived back in the States, and sporadic sleep was the best I could manage for years. What did the VA doc call it? PTSD? The shrink recommended that I find somewhere I could avoid loud, unexpected noises. Relief came after I found a house in a remote setting, but uninterrupted sleep has eluded me again the last 5 months. I finish the draft and walk back to my room. The clock radio alarm goes off, and thoughts swirl through my mind while I sit on the side of the bed. Don't lose your temper. Count to 3 before answering each question. Keep your responses short. Yes or no are best. It's okay to say you can't remember if it's true. Remember, you're innocent, so keep your head up and don't look guilty. A hot shower refreshes me, and I tuck into a mediocre fast food breakfast across the street. After the last fork of hash browns, I lean back in the booth while managing to finish a cigarette and my coffee at the same time. Back in the dingy room, I reluctantly put my Glock between the mattress and box spring and hang a Do Not Disturb tag on the doorknob. My 2009 pickup sits where I parked it, in the far corner of the motel parking lot. A quick inspection of each wheel well dispels my concern about anyone putting a tracking device on the truck. After disabling the alarm and checking the back seat, I open the primer orange driver's door and sit on the gray duct tape holding the torn seat material together. A quick glance at 3 mirrors tells me no one is lurking nearby. I pull out of my parking spot and turn left after signaling, but only when a big gap in traffic appears. Getting a ticket for driving with an expired license and keeping the grand jury waiting would not go over well. The same red light from last night stops me, but now several cars are at the intersection, so I guess a stoplight is needed after all. 20 minutes later, I maneuver my truck into a parking space and enter the federal building. A magnetometer affirms my decision to leave my piece behind. Up 2 floors and down a nondescript hall, a molded plastic chair outside the assigned room wobbles when I sit in it. The hands on the Hammond clock overlap, informing everyone the time is 9:48. A pale, frail man leaves the grand jury room at 10:54, glances at me, and then takes a step back. A comb-over suggests his hair color once matched his baggy brown suit. He peers at me for a moment, through bifocals set in a round metal frame, like the kind John Lennon wore the night he was shot and killed. A nod, and he scurries away, his rubber soles squishing on the tile floor. At 11:22, a man in a navy blue suit and striped gray tie comes out of the room and asks my name. I say yes, and he motions to follow him inside. The room's outdated furnishings show wear and tear, and fluorescent bulbs flicker. The man, he must be the district attorney, points to a raised box where I sit on a wooden chair's rigid seat. An oversized, pull-down movie screen sits off to the side. About 20 people in padded folding chairs arranged in a semicircle stare at me. Most appear to be in their 40s. A couple are younger, and the rest are older. One lady, about my age, has thinning gray hair and thick glasses perched under a frowning forehead. 4 of the men are wearing suits and ties. The rest sport casual pants, mostly tan or black. No blue jeans or overalls. Ordinary people. Were any of them in the saloon last night? After I'm sworn in and advised of my limited rights, we go through the preliminaries of name, date of birth, address, etc., and then it begins. Where were you on the afternoon of September 2nd, 2024? Why were you there? Is that you in the picture? The district attorney asks, firing up a computer and using a laser pointer to identify me on the screen. Glancing to my left, the terrifying image looms larger than life. There I am, standing over a dying black man. My Glock pointed toward him amid chaos on stage and in the audience. Stop. Breathe naturally. Yes. Questions and answers come rat-a-tat. Why did you carry a gun to a concert? I always carry my gun. What specific gun do you own? Glock 19. Is that the same gun that's in the photograph? Yes. Do you have it with you now? Be careful. Answer the question he asked. Keep it short. Don't tell him you left your weapon in the motel room. He didn't ask that. No. Immediately. Is your gun in a car outside the courthouse? No. What's the capacity of your Glock 19 magazine? 15 rounds. Slow down. Don't let the DA set the cadence. How many rounds were in the magazine after the shooting? I pause. Then, 13. The district attorney whirls around to face the impassive jurors. Ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury, the coroner testified earlier this morning that the victim died from 2 gunshot wounds. Did you fire your gun that day? Where's he going? A slow breath. Yes. The room goes silent as the jurors, especially the old lady, glare at me. That's a yes or no question, but I can't let it go without an explanation. Earlier in the morning, I took 2 shots at a coyote poking around my chicken coop. Damn, too quick an answer with a transparent but truthful alibi. What caliber is your Glock? 9mm. And that's another thing. He was shot with... Stop! You weren't asked to identify the murder weapon or its caliber. Jurors will disregard the witness's attempt to identify the purported weapon and its caliber. Shifting uneasily in the unforgiving chair, I wonder why the district attorney stopped me from telling the grand jury information that would prove my innocence. The Portland paper had printed a forensic evidence report showing the entertainer was shot with 2 .223 rounds from an assault rifle. Everyone in my town read it. People didn't have much else to talk about. The tempo increases. Were you charged with felony assault and battery in 1984? Yes, but it was reduced to a misdemeanor. What was the race of the man you assaulted? He was black. Why were you on stage with a black band? I was dancing in the front row and yelled at the lead singer during the break. I saw you in 1972 at the Driftwood Lounge in Detroit just before I got shipped to Nam. The guy grinned and waved me up. Why is your gun aimed at the victim lying on the stage? Given an opportunity to elaborate, I break my rule about short answers again. The Marines taught me to point my weapon down and to the right when I draw it, as a safety precaution instead of pointing it into a crowd. Is part of your safety training to not look where your gun is aimed? It's pointing where it's supposed to, down and to the right. I refer them to the blown-up photograph, and the juror's eyes follow my finger. In the picture, my head is turned away from him. I'm looking up and over, past the audience, trying to find where the shots came from. No further questions. You may step down. What? That's it? All the way to Portland for this? I stumble out of the box and exit to my right with my head held high. The same chair in the hallway beckons me, and I collapse in it, shaking and wobbling. Think, why did they subpoena me? Nothing makes sense. I return to my rented room and note the Do Not Disturb hang tag still dangles from the doorknob. Inside, I lift the mattress, retrieve my Glock, sniff the barrel, and check the clip. It hasn't been fired. Lying down might help me figure out why I got a subpoena. It doesn't. 2 cigarettes don't either. Now it's early evening, and I go back to the bar where I take the same worn stool. What'll you have? Hams. The beer comes with a cardboard coaster that says, "Don't worry, beer happy," provoking a subdued laugh. I'm worried and confused, and I won't be happy until I figure this out. Tough day today? A nod. Want to talk about it? I shake my head and count 3 glum patrons scattered among the tables nursing their drinks. After wiping a wine glass, the barkeep peers at his work in the light and returns to the cash register. I sit, stew, and sip. "Another," I say, lifting the mug. More hams arrives and takes its place on the damp coaster. "Can I get something to eat?" Breakfast disappointed me and seems like a long time ago. "Burger and home fries?" "Sure." "What do you want on it?" "Grilled onions, lettuce, and tomato." Sliced potatoes start protesting the moment they hit the heated oil. The barman, now a short-order cook, slaps a patty on the grill and covers it with a dented tin lid. Chopped onions sizzle in melted butter next to the split bun. A few minutes later, it all comes together in front of me, along with a caddy containing ketchup, mustard, relish, and mayonnaise. I'm starving and devour the greasy bar food. Maybe it's so satisfying because of the intense afternoon. Either way, the red plastic basket is empty minutes later, except for the checkerboard, wax paper, and plastic silverware. My hand rises, and I say, "One more." He clears the basket and condiment tray and replaces the empty glass with a full one, eyeing me askance. My return scowl tells him to back off. Yeah, it's a little early, and I'm pounding him back pretty good, but I've had a tough day. Later, 2 customers walk in, jingling the bell on the doorframe, and the bartender greets his regulars by name. Now's a good time to go. I drain the last of the suds, stick 2 20s under the placemat, and leave. After weaving my way back to the motel, I stick the Do Not Disturb tag on the doorknob. Sleep claims me soon after my head hits the pillow, though hallucinations rotate among today, Vietnam, and that bloody Labor Day, and the electric chair. Waking by sunlight beats an alarm every time. The day starts with a steaming shower and another lousy breakfast across the street. How do city people eat this crap? Yesterday still puzzles me. Why did the district attorney subpoena me? Why did he ask me about the old assault and battery charge? The DA painted me as the shooter, but he knew an assault rifle killed the aging African-American icon. Ballistics proved I didn't shoot him. Why did he stop me from saying something that people probably already read in the paper? How many innocent men have been found guilty on circumstantial evidence flimsier than this and sent to prison? Or executed for a murder they didn't commit? I can picture the electric chair welcoming me with open arms. So why did he show that damn photograph in the grand jury room? Everybody saw it in the paper the next day. It sure looks like I killed the singer, standing next to his body, my Glock aimed at him. Everybody thought I did it, including the police. At least at first. Why did the DA ask about the missing rounds? He knew the answer, and all the answers, because this information was in the police report that I signed. And he knew the bullets didn't match. And why did he cut me off before I could prove I didn't kill the guy? What did he want from me? Wait. He called me the witness when I tried to tell the grand jury what the murder weapon was. That's it. Circumstances make me look like I'm the killer, but I'm an eyewitness. What was I telling the grand jury right before he excused me? In the picture, my head is turned away from him. I'm looking up, over and past the audience, trying to find where the shots came from. Maybe that's what he needed from me, the location of the shooter, because I had the best view and a trained military reaction. Did they catch him? Did the DA only need me to corroborate the killer's location? Oh, that's their problem, not mine. Things are never this complicated back home, and home is where I'm heading. I'm turning into my driveway when a sudden movement near the chicken coop attracts my attention, so I get out of the truck but don't close the door. My Glock leaves its holster, pointed at the ground by my right side, and I'm creeping toward the chicken coop when all hell breaks loose. Hens are squawking like their lives depend on it. They're running in circles, their wings are beating, and their feathers are flying everywhere. Taking a breath and exhaling like I was taught, I raise the Glock to eye level and step around the corner of the henhouse. Pop, pop, pop! The coyote lies on its side, twitching its legs, but only for a couple seconds. Life's a lot simpler here.